Hello. Let me turn the music down a little bit. Hello. I'm going to test if you can see me. Hold on, let me change the screens. This one. Hello. My cat's also coming to say hello. Let me... Hold on. Okay. Let me figure out, make sure things are working good. I am so sorry. I think this is good. Oh, there's my cat. Hello. What can I do for you today, Luna? She's gonna be teaching you today. She'll be doing the crafting. You want to smell the beeswax? Say hi to the camera, Tuna. Say hi. Oh, I didn't even turn this light on. I'm clearly not prepared. Ah, much brighter. Perfect. This is all you need. She wants to leave. Goodbye, Tuna. Or are you gonna... No? Okay. You know what? Sure, I didn't post on my Instagram story. Give me 2 seconds. Your butt's in frame, Luna. So rude of you. She's gonna lay on my bed and hang out for a bit. I am going to make sure that the audio is good, because my microphone has to be so far away. I never know if you can hear me good or not. Give me 2 secs. Please don't knock things over, Luna. 2 secs. Yeah. I'll turn the music up a little bit. Okay. Oh, she's just laying right here. You can't see her, but she's just out of frame for you. Okay. I still didn't post on. Probably shouldn't have my phone where you can see things. It's fine. Hold on. I'm so prepared. If you can't tell, wow. Cool. Good enough. Let's get started, actually. Let's put on rings first. Where did I put them? Please ignore the mess behind the sticky notes. The sticky notes are all the things I have to do, and the mess is a mess I just haven't cleaned up yet. It's fine. Let me put on all of my rings. It feels weird not to wear them. These are my emotional support rings. There we go. Now I'm ready to go. Let's start this 10 minutes in. Hello, I'm Saros. Today, we're going to be doing 2 things. First, we're going to start out making a felt leaf coaster. I'm making this as a practice for my project I have to do for school tomorrow. I have to teach a group of my classmates something, as if I'm teaching a lesson to a high school class, and so this is what I'm going to be doing. Very exciting, very fun times. I've never made this before, and I've left all of the work I need to do for this whole project until today, so we'll see. I have everything you need for it right here, except for scissors. I've got big scissors. These will work. I'll set those over there. So I may as well get started. So, don't even need this. We're going to be doing this sort of as if I'm going to be doing the lesson. This is sort of my run-through of it. So, this is it. We're really starting off. I'm not going to go into super in-depth about everything, but just generally so I get the idea. This is more for me than for anyone else. But let's get started. So first you're going to pick up your embroidery thread or embroidery floss, whatever you want to call it. It's same thing, different terms. I think it's an American term is embroidery floss. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't really matter. Embroidery floss is characterized because it's, if you take this, you look, let me get this real close. If you look at it here, the camera will focus, it doesn't really want to focus. Embroidery floss is actually 6 strands of thread twisted together. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. That's what embroidery floss is. For this project, and in like any hand sewing things that use floss, often you use the DMC brand. This is the best brand. They're a good company too. Overall, pretty good brand. But for things that are usually, you don't need all 6 threads. Typically, you don't need all 6 threads. I personally, for doing these felt projects, like taking 2 of the threads. For cross stitching, I take 1. It just sort of depends on the thickness that you need. But for this, we're going to start with taking it out. A fun little tip I've learned on how to do this nicely is if you take the number right under the barcode, put your thumb on here, hold it tight, grab this loose end, and then you can pull it out and it doesn't tangle. That's so cool. So what I do, the amount of thread I use is my arm's width. So I take this in one hand, this in the other, and stretch my arms out all the way. You can't really see, but it's stretched out all the way. And you take that, and you can just cut it right there. And you probably won't need the rest of this for the whole project because this will last you a decent amount of time. I prefer using longer threads because then you don't have to keep getting more thread as you're going. You don't have to worry about like tying knots in the middle of like your progress. I just find it a lot easier. Now, the different ways you can take threads out is either one at a time. You can pinch this, pull one at a time and pull it out. Or what I like to do is you sort of spread it apart about an inch or so down, get 2 that are close to each other, because I want 2 threads. Pull these apart, and then let this stuff just hang down. It works best if I'm like standing up or something like that, but you don't want this tangled. And I'm just gonna put it on the ground beside me. Oh, I am so sorry, I keep tapping you. Let me... I'm gonna mute the mic for a second, might be kind of loud. I don't think this is how the mic was, but everything was, but it's fine. I'm turning the music up. It also felt a little quiet. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You take your 2 threads in one hand and the other 4 in this hand, and then you just pull apart very slowly, very gently. I might actually just have them do the 1 thread trick. That might be easier. Because if you do it slowly like this, you can't see, it just untwists itself real nice. If you do too fast, it starts retwisting up wrong, like it goes like this, and that is usually bad. It's real close to the end though, so it's not too bad. And then you've got 6 threads here you'll put off to the side, the 4 threads, sorry, and then your 2 that you're going to be working with right here. Then you should be able to just untwist everything. Now the way I do things is I tie both ends in a knot together. So that's what we're going to do. But first, let me untangle this. Gotta thread it through the needle. Now, growing up, I was taught to just put it in your mouth, wet it. That's not very sanitary. I learned a different trick that you can use to thread the needle because these needles are tapestry darning needles. So they're thicker, they're size 18, and they've got a bigger eye to them, which makes them easier to thread. So what I do, I especially do this when I'm wearing a mask and I'm doing things outside, it's nice and helpful, is you take the end and you sort of just make a loop with it. And then you take that loop, make it real small, and hold really close to it. So you've got like a little loop here, and then you can just slide your needle right on, and then you pull, and there you go. I found that out, I think, through a cross stitch video. I can't remember, but it's been very helpful because then I don't have to spit on my thread a whole bunch. But then I take the two ends and I tie them together. I find this is just easiest. You don't lose your needle this way. You still get a decent amount. You get 4 strands, which I think is a good working amount. It's nice and thick, but not too thick. You can't really get 4 strands easily from 6 strands, because then you'd have a 4 into 2. It's easier than you get whatever piece you got cut, you get 3 strands from it, you know what I mean? A little bit of math. But I just take the 2 ends, tie it in a knot. Some people, for like embroidery and stuff, don't want you to tie it in a knot. For felt stitching, tie it in a knot. No one cares. It's going to be on the inside. It doesn't matter. It's a lot sturdier this way. And this, you just tie it in a general knot. The way you tie any knots. I do it about 2 or 3 times just to make sure it's sturdy. And there you go. So now you could just start working like this, or if you have beeswax, which this is just a chunk of beeswax. It was $5, and this, if you run your thread through it, will help prevent you from getting tangles. It's a wonderful thing, but you just take your thread, pinch it here. I haven't actually used beeswax in a while, and just hold tight and pull. And there's a bit of a dent here. That doesn't matter, because now your thread's nice and waxed. It might not be an even wax, I don't think I did it evenly, but it doesn't really matter, because now that it's waxed, it's less likely to tangle, and if it does, it's easier to undo, which is super helpful, especially for beginners. I do suggest beeswax. This is the first block of beeswax I've gotten, because places like Fabricland don't really sell them. I got this from my work at a craft store, but very helpful, would recommend. Now, to start this, onto the project. For my class tomorrow, I'll have this as an example, but I don't have one right now. But we're going to do 2 types of stitches. I would have talked about this already. We're going to do a running stitch up here to make the veins of the leaf, and then we're going to do a blanket stitch around. Now for these pieces, you'll see on one side of each piece I drew a star. These are the inside pieces. These are the insides. You want them touching when you're done. The reason I did 2 pieces, it makes it sturdier, and you can hide your knots better. So you can either freehand a line, or taking, I don't have a pencil. I do have pencils, hold on. Taking a pencil or a light pen. 3H works. Now we're just going to do this on one side, if I can not drop things. And then we're going to gently, this felt is kind of dark, so this pencil doesn't work. The darker the felt, the darker the pen you have to use. Very lightly. This will probably be the bottom of your project, because you may see this, but you want to do it very lightly, and then you can draw your little veins out. There you go. I'm just doing 3 little veins, nice and easy, 1 down the center, 1 on each side. Now to get started, you're going to hold the one piece, and you're going to take the needle, put it through, and go up through the base of your line. And then you can pull it all the way through, and you can test your knot, make sure your knot's tight enough here. Now the running stitch, very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to go maybe 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch, however big you want. 1/4 of an inch is here, 1/2 inch. I'd say somewhere between the two, I think. Let me actually test my measurements. This is actually about 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is usually where you want to go. Your stitching will look nicer if it's even, but as a beginner, that doesn't really matter too much. But you do For this practice one, doesn't really matter a whole lot, but for a final project, you would want your stitching to be pretty even. But then you're just going to want to pull it through, actually. Hold on, pause. Pull that back through. I did nothing, you saw nothing. So then once you've got that through, rewind. You're going to take your pieces, and you're going to put them together, line them up, stars together. This way, you can sew through both pieces at once. And I have clips. I don't have clips with me right now. You can use pins or clips, like the ones I brought you that I don't actually have with me, to hold your pieces together. I prefer clips because pins can sort of warp the fabric, but this can help hold it together. But then you want to go about 1/4 of an inch up from your last stitch, or about 1/2 centimeter. Is that the same? Hold on. Yeah, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 centimeter up from your last stitch, and then you want to put it through both pieces of fabric. Just pull down, and you'll have your first stitch. I picked the embroidery floss for each of your felt is a similar color. You could use a contrasting color or something a little brighter, but I figured this helps hide any mistakes. It makes it harder to see anything. The more contrast the color, the better your stitching should be to make it look nice. But for what we're gonna do, you always want to work on one side. You don't want to keep flipping things over, because then it can get tangled, it can get messy. So once you practice, with lots of practice, you'll get good at guessing where you need to be, but you always want to keep your hands away from where you need to go. Because as you can see, right here is where my thread came out, so I know I'm going up from there, so I don't want my fingers anywhere near there because I don't have any thimbles to protect me. But then you take it, I usually put my needle pretty close to my finger so I can feel where it's going, and then you can gently stab through and move ever so slightly until you get where you need to be, because you want to be about 1/4 of an inch away from your last stitch. Then again, pull through. If you wanted, this felt doesn't hold holes very well, but you can stab through. Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say you can stab through and go from there, but you can't actually see those holes because felt is non-woven, non-knit. I forget the type of material it is, but it's not woven, it's not knit, it's a whole bunch of fibers sort of just put together. So it closes any holes you make pretty easily. But then you just want to keep going, so then you go like this, and I'm making sure my next stitch might not be the exact same length, but I want it to be at the base of this vine here, because we're going to go off from here while we're stitching. So it should look something like this so far, and you've got one stitch at the back. We'll make it look nicer afterwards. Now, I want to go off this vine because then it helps, because we're going to go off and then we're going to come right back, so that way we don't have to worry about starting a whole bunch of new stitches and tying a whole bunch of knots. And again, fingers away, hold this pretty close, and stab until you get about 1/4 of an inch down. Pull it through, pull it through, now I've got, just at the end of my line, I put my stitch at the very tip of the line I drew, which is about 1/4 of an inch. If it's not, that's fine. I'm lucky, I didn't measure any of my lines, I just guessed, but you want to make them roughly the same size stitches. But now how we're going to make this a nice solid line of stitches is what we're going to do is, instead of keep going this way, we're going to turn around and go back through the same holes we went in the first time. So we're going to go from this point here, and then we're going to turn around it and go over the stitch back into this hole here. I'm going to try and push it directly through and pull it out. And now, as you can see, it looks more like a solid line. There's no spaces of felt in between. And this one you can flip over because you want to go through the exact same hole. And again, through here. This way, your stitching lines will look nice and straight from both sides. And then back in here. There you go. My stitching isn't the straightest, but it's a leaf. If your stitching's not super straight, doesn't matter. Leaves aren't super straight in general. But now from both sides, a nice line. And now we can go back up the stem and keep going, doing the same thing. So about 1/4 of an inch up, pull through, and pull through, and then we're at another vine here, vein. So we go, pull through, and debating how many stitches I want. Do I want it to be that long, or do I want it to be a little bit longer? Let's do that length. Well, actually no, I want it a little bit longer. So you're gonna do another stitch right here. And then again, you've got your few stitches here and you need to go back. So you're gonna take your needle, go through the hole, take this pin out, and go like this. You always want to make sure your thread, when you pull it through, is not super tight, but it is taut. You don't want to yank it because then it bunches up, but you just want it tight enough that it holds together and it's not too loose. And then again, just continue what you were doing. As you can see, I often poke through a couple times before I actually commit to a stitch. That's just me making sure I'm going in the right area. Just like that. We're at another vine. This one's going to be nice and short. That one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should this one be 3? Yeah, this one's going to be 3. You don't have to count your stitches. You can just do whatever you want. If you wanted more veins. Oh, perfect example. Here's a knot. This just happens. The thread tangles. It always happens. But if you're careful and just gently pull on it, you can untangle it. It's hardly ever things that you can't undo. As long as you catch it quickly and you're very gentle, then you can always undo the knots. It just happens because this thread gets twisted and it twists together and doesn't want to go through. I'm debating if I should just draw these on for my students and make them small veins, because I'm doing this pretty quickly. I don't think my so-called students will be able to do it this fast. But anyway, now that you're at the top of your main stem, you do the same thing you did on these little veins, and you just stitch back. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this half the size. They're gonna be short. Just because I need to be able to do this in 20 minutes, and it's been 20 minutes since I started. So now it doesn't always matter how straight your stitching is. It's your project. for personal things. For projects handing in, I do want your stitching to be, if you were to do something like this as your main textile arts project, I do want your stitching to be nice and straight and as even as you can get it, as it will make it look nicer. But when you're doing things for yourself, it doesn't really matter. Just for school purposes, I want to be able to see that you can stitch straight. But when you're doing things at home, it doesn't really matter. Now that you're at your last stitch, you'll see I've gotten a stitch here, but there's no more stitch to go through here. You don't want to pull it all the way through because you're going to tie a knot in this. What you're going to do is you're going to separate it and go about roughly where that would end and just poke it through one layer. And then from here, you can just tie a knot. Any sort of knot will do. Some people cut it and tie the two ends together. I just go like this. And then you can take your thread and trim it pretty close. Now, you very well could leave it like this. If you didn't want to go around the edge, it would be loose, probably collect a lot of dirt, but you could do something like this, because as you can see, it's a nice little coaster. Oh, that's adorable. I'm actually gonna make more of these. I'm thinking of making Animal Crossing ones. That would be adorable. Okay, I'm gonna do that later, because this actually turned out really good. But see, now you got a nice little coaster, nice and solid. And now, this thread is not going to be enough to do a whole lot with. You can still use it if you want to, but you will have to figure out how to like tie a knot. I'm just going to get a new thread. Set this off to the side because again, I will use that later for something I'm sure. But otherwise, you can take your thread here. I'm going to actually do it this way this time. So you got your 4 strands. It's helpful when you have nails. If you don't, you can use like a needle to gently pick. And you take your one, hold this real tight, and pull. I think you're supposed to put the twist together, but I don't really care. When you always pull, you always want to make sure that your thread is straight that you're pulling from, otherwise it's more likely to have knots. And this isn't waxed, so it can tie up to a point where you can't untie it. Again, find a single thread. Actually, I'll teach both ways. Pinch and pull. And then this is your extra again, put it over here. And then take your thread, put the two ends together, make a loop, and thread your needle. And you sort of want to gently hold on to both, to all of the ends and pull them tight. What I like to do to make sure my threads are all nice threaded, I find all the ends, I pinch them real tight in one hand, and then I just yank on my needle until it's roughly where the middle would be, and then I go from there, pinch and pull out, just to make sure there's no extra bumps or lumps, and tie a knot. As you can see, some of these threads are shorter than the other, like this one's a lot shorter, so that's where I'm tying the knot to. Now, I don't really want all of this end after the tail, so I'm just going to cut that short, throw this away, and then I'm going to wax it again. Again, just you can put it in the groove, pinch it tight, and you can see there's going to be 2 grooves here, so that way you can just set it in the groove and pull. There we go, nice and waxed. Now we can start a blanket stitch. Let me adjust here. How do I do blanket stitches? Hold on, let me think. Okay, I do want to start down here where it's going to be nicer. Actually, do I go this way? I go either way. So the way I start a blanket stitch is you take one piece of fabric, you go through one side and pull tight. And then you go through the other side and only one piece of fabric and pull tight. Now like this, you'll have a little loop and then your thread coming out from between the 2 pieces of fabric. Now these stitches are usually, again, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 centimeter long. You want to do nice small stitches. You can do bigger stitches, but I typically do bigger stitches on bigger projects and smaller stitches on smaller projects. Bigger stitches are a lot more in your face and can be a little harder because you can see when they're different, like different sizes more. Little stitches sort of hide that a little better. But that's how you start it. Now, you want to go, again, roughly about, what I do is about the same length of the stitch over. So, I take this stitch length here, which is, if it'll focus, doesn't really want to focus much, sorry. I take this length here, and I go about that far over. I just find this makes it look better, but this is about 1/4 inch, so I go about 1/4 inch over, and then I take my needle, and I go through both pieces of fabric. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my needle in there, and I'm going to take this loop of thread here and put it over the needle. So that way, where it's coming out of the felt, it goes around the needle until it goes through the eye. Because what you do is when you pull your needle tight here, you'll see better that the thread is coming up through the loop that's made from the other pieces. And then once you pull this tight, it'll create a sort of edge. It'll look better on your second or so stitch away. So you poke through, take your thread, loop it around. I always hold it in one finger just to make sure it's a loop. Pull it tight, then you get this line here, just like on a blanket stitch, because that's what it is. This is like the key point to a blanket stitch. And then from that, you're just going to want to do that the whole way around. So you go about 1/4 inch over, poke all the way through, put your needle through the loop, and pull. You can do this either direction. I flip which direction I work. Sometimes I work towards my left hand, sometimes I work away from my left hand. It's the same thing. Needle through, loop the thread, tighten the thread. And as you can see, this creates a nice little, very hand-stitched decorative motif with the thread here, but it keeps all of the edges tight together. And again, you want to pull this tight, but not too tight, because too tight and it'll cinch and it'll look weird. You just want it taut. And then, yeah, you just keep going around. Now, that's essentially it for my lesson. I'm going to have a video. When I get to the end of this, I'm going to record it nice and put a link to it so my classmates, my students can finish it off. But that's essentially what I'm going to be teaching them, and it took me about 40-ish minutes. Whoopsie. I think I am going to make their lines shorter, just so we can get it done faster. You know what I mean? Very exciting times, though. That's my lesson for my class. I sometimes overestimate things, because me personally, I'm like, this shouldn't take this long, but then because, you know, neurodivergent brain needs to explain a lot, just because I'm like, explaining a lot's better than not explaining enough, so I may as well explain more. But then it just is like, now I'm teaching you what I feel is basic, but look, that's better teaching than anything else. And again, just blanket stitch around. Nothing fancy. You can do closer stitches if you want. I don't really want, I like the more spread apart hand stitched look. If I didn't want something to look hand stitched, I wouldn't hand stitch it. So I personally, this is just what I like. I am gonna make more of these though because I think this is super cute. Pull too tight, it can look a little silly. You always want your thread tension to be the same in all of your stitches, but that comes with practice. Oh, I should bring my bunnies. I'm gonna be bringing like all of my felt toys. Let's see how much I can get done in the 20-ish minutes. I'm gonna set like 10-minute timers. Like a 10-minute timer that I like restart every 10 minutes so I know what time it is. Otherwise it's never gonna get done. I also need to test this webcam with my laptop, so just because I need to record a 3-minute clip and I don't want to use my phone because my phone is going to be my timer. And my students get to keep all of this material. So if they want, they can keep this. They won't need it, but if they want, they can keep it. They get to keep this and the needle. This is mine. I was not going to buy $5 blocks of beeswax for all of my students. Because this piece of felt, these 2 pieces of felt probably cost, if you're saying what I cut them out of, like not even a third of the felt, and the felt was like 70 cents, like maybe 20 cents, and this thread was like 60 cents, and this needle was a pack of 6 for like $4. So like less than $1 a needle, like less than $2 for this project. So my problem is I pick up crafts super quickly, so I'm just hoping that I can instruct people slow enough. And yeah, truly I do think there's a fun element to having hand stitch. Hand stitch be the aesthetic, because one, it makes it so you don't have to have super perfect stitches because you want it to look homemade. You want to say, hey, look at this thing I made. You don't want to say, hey, look at this thing. Did I make it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually bring my backpack tomorrow, and like at least one other bag. Okay, I'm actually going to record this nicely to make a nice little video. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold. Look, my webcam right here is balanced on my ring light with a hair tie holding it together, and I don't think my ring light's even 100% on the ground. It's not. Real sorry. It's fine. Okay. Now, if you get to a point where you still have a bunch more stitches to do and only about this much thread left, then you're going to want to be able to finish it off. So what you do is you take your needle, do your stitch, pull it through. Once it starts getting hard to do stitches, that's when you know. Now what you want to do is you just want to go over through the back and stitch just through one layer of the stitch you already did. And pull it tight. This here makes it look pretty neat when you're finishing it off. So that way you can take it, and I always loop it through. You can sort of see a stitch in here. I always loop my thread through here and tie a knot onto that. And then from there, I cut it off really close to the eye of the needle. And then, I'm not going to be able to do this holding it in the air, but I just tie it into a knot right here. It's not working, so I'm going to take the two pieces, tie them together. My nails are a little long, and that can be a bit of a hindrance in some cases. Tie it twice, and then cut it off. Tail doesn't really matter because it's going inside. That's how you finish it off. That's how you would finish off when you get all the way around, or even just when you run out of thread. And then to start it up again, I'm going to take this small piece of thread I used from stitching the middle, because I don't think I'll need that much, and thread it onto my needle. Having some nails is helpful. Having this long of nails is not the most helpful. But again, take your little loop, take the eye of the needle, and what? You can sort of twist your loop. I'm not holding close enough. I might spit on it, it doesn't want to thread. Okay. There we go. And tie your knot. This thread is already pre-waxed because I already waxed it, but so it makes tying knots a little bit more difficult. There we go. Then you want to start it. I don't mind having a skipped stitch sort of like this, it looks like. I don't mind that in my work. If you do, you can start from here and like twist your needle around. I've never found a way to make it look super good, so I just started the same way I started all of my stitches. All of my blanket stitches. Poke through, poke up, pull it tight. And then what you can do is you can go loop it through here. Loop it through here, I think. Yeah. And then you'll get a bit of a line here. It's a little messy, but I personally have not found a way to make it look less messy. You want to make sure your thread ends are all neatly tucked inside. And then just keep going. This is one of those crafts that's very repetitive and therapeutic. If you see any ends tucking out, any piece of the thread sticking out, you can always use the end of your needle and just poke them back in there. If you have little pieces like that where your thread ran out and you had to start a new stitch, if it's a little messy, I'm not gonna dock marks because I understand that that's probably the hardest part of sewing. I usually try and get pieces of thread that are long enough that I don't have to tie a knot in the middle of my work, because it can be a bother. Oh, this was just the right amount of thread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of connect it by going underneath of this, and why not this one? And then because this is all tucked in, I'm just going to poke through and very carefully just poke through one layer and sort of feel my way in and checking both sides, making sure. And once you've got a decent amount in, you can poke your way through one side and then pull it a little tight, cut your thread, and then wiggle it out. And there you go. A nice little hand-sewn felt leaf coaster. Perfect. It's adorable. Very cute. It only took me about 40 minutes. So yeah, this only took me about 40 minutes. For someone that doesn't know how to sew, might take them anywhere from probably like an hour to 2 hours, depending on how slow they sew. And I'm gonna make these shorter for my students so that way they have less stitches, because the blanket stitch is like the most important one I want to get to, but you need to do this one first to hold it together so it doesn't like shift. But this is very cute, very proud of. I made this up on the fly. All of their leaves are gonna be different colors just because I thought that would be more fun. I've got a dark green, a medium green, a light green. This one is like a medium dark. I don't know if I like this lime. I'm actually gonna take this one out. I don't like it. We're gonna do another one out of this green. We're gonna do mine. Another one I make will be out of this green. Yeah, just because that lime one is super bright. And I need it for 5 people. I'm gonna check, make sure my group is actually 5 other people. But we've got orange, brown, tan, green, green. You can make them out of all different sorts of colors. This one's very Halloween, but I'm very excited. They're only gonna be using a small chunk of these, but I'm excited. I'm gonna take this thread, throw it away, put my wax over here, put this needle back because I'm going to change the title of my stream in a hot second here. These are DMCA darning needles. These are my favorite. I got this pack here. This is my pack. I bought a separate pack to give to my students because I'm like, these are actually very good needles. This is adorable. I'm very proud of this. Hold on, let me take a picture. I'm putting this on my Instagram story because people need to see what they missed out on me making, you know? So we'll have this for a hot second. I say hot second too much. Can't text and type at the same time, but now on to my Halloween decorations. Let me actually edit this first. Painting a skull for painting on a skull for Halloween. I've given up on capitals. Perfect. Now I'm going to show you a quick glimpse of what I'm going to be painting. I'm going to have to set this up a little bit better. This is set up. I have this guy. This is a dollar store Halloween plastic skull. Peel that off. It was $4.75. I'll try and pick that off in a hot second. But it's to like hang on the wall. I want to paint it nicer with some better shadows and stuff, and then glue some moss onto it just because I enjoy it. I don't have any of my fake flowers out, and I don't know where like any of my ones I can use are that are like aren't on stems. I have fake flowers that are just pulled off the stems in a bag, and I don't remember where I put that bag. But I'm going to paint this guy better because he should be dark all in here. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna paint him better and glue some stuff onto him. But I need to set up for that. So I have lots of it. Oh goodness, oh goodness. I had some of this set up. I have all of my paint brushes here. A whole bunch of paints and a little tray for them. But I didn't bring water or like, my hands are gonna get covered in paint, or paper towel. So I'm going to mute my mic, and I'm gonna go fill this up with water and get some paper towels. BRB, I'll be back. I'll turn up the music, hold on. Enjoy. So that took a lot less time than I thought it would. I'm back with some paper towel. But I'm going to take off my rings because I don't want these covered in paint. And then, oh, sorry. I'm going to look up a picture of a skull. Nope. Clicking the wrong buttons. Animal skull reference. Maybe, you know what? Any sort of skull will do. Because as you can tell, this guy is not painted very nice. I'm half assuming acrylic paint will work on here. That's all I have. I'm just gonna go for it. I've got all of the grays and browns. You know what? I'm just gonna start with the black in the eye here. See if that works. Well, actually, do I want this one? With maybe a bit of dark brown? Let's see. I also found a smaller paint palette, which is nice. I forgot I had it. I have like a disposable paint palette, which is just like wax paper in a book, but that wouldn't fit. Because I sort of want this to be like neutrally browns and such. I debated putting sparkles. I ended up saying no to sparkles, mostly because I don't think I know where my sparkly paint is. I have like metallic black, but the inside of his eyes doesn't need to be metallic. But I do have a gloss paint, just in case I want to make him a little glossy, because I think that would look nice. You know what I mean? And then add some dark brown, just because I want him to be like browns. I don't want him to be gray. I want him to be like warm. That's not what I wanted. That's also not what I wanted. Goodness me. You know what? And a little bit of black. I used way too much paint in this. This is fine. What dingy little paintbrush should I use? That one's actually nice. Let's use this one. Mixing paint. You can't really tell on the camera. It's a gray, brown, and black to make a nice, like, warm black, you know what I mean? A bit too much gray, I think I did. Yeah, we're gonna scoop. Oh, look, he's got teeth. I didn't realize he had teeth. Good. Let me grab this brown again. Because I want it to be warm. I don't want to actually. This is going to be much more relaxing. Should I change my... I should probably change this to paints and crafts rather than just chatting. Because I do not know how much just chatting I'm going to be doing. Hold on. Should I do crafts and makers or... You know what? Yeah. That's... What's that category called? Makers and crafting. That's what it is. I'll do that. Just because I think that fits better. Oh, it's nice and dark. Will this stay? Oof, kind of. Probably should have like sanded it first. That's fine. You live and you learn. Pull up. Oh, that looks much better already. My animal skull reference. Just because like these are supposed to be like, that looks cooler. Having it more dark. These are supposed to be like holes, you know? So like why are they so light? I think I'm working dark first. I just started going. I didn't think too much, but I think I'm going to work dark first because then I can do highlights better and I don't have to worry about covering them back up. He's also going to be covered in like moss and stuff afterwards, so. shaky. Just because, like, there's so many seams. They're, like, he's, like, decent, but I mean, I did get this from the dollar store. I got this idea because I saw one at Spirit Halloween. I saw, like, a big skull, but it was, like, I want to say, like, $40, and I did not want to pay that much for it. So I was like, you know what? I can make my own. And then I was like, you know what I can do? Cover it in, moss. That's the word. I forgot. And then, this is dark too, right? This should be, yeah, that should be dark too. You know, if I wasn't streaming, I probably would have never done this craft because I don't often paint things just for myself or like make things for myself. I'm too often making things for other people. I also like that this isn't black, you know what I mean? Look at how funky he looks. Oh, good fella. I want a raven skull. Potentially a real one, but like just a raven skull. I feel like that would look nice. That would be fun. I want to go like in the cracks. I kind of want it to be like extreme sort of shading just because that's more fun. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, I could do more realistic shading, but then it would be kind of boring. It's always more fun to be a little extra. I also put the end of paintbrushes in my mouth a lot, just to like hold them there. I'm trying to do this with very little, like sort of like dry brushing, you know what I mean? Very little paint. I'm doing this now instead of closer to Halloween because my next stream, the one I'll probably do next Sunday, is going to be making the jewelry for my Halloween costume. Because I know I'm going to want jewelry, but I don't have anything else made of my Halloween costume, so I don't know what type of jewelry yet. I don't know what to talk about. I feel like I should be talking, but I'm also on the painting, the makers and crafters category now. So do I have to talk as much? Probably not. Look at how cool he's looking already. I think I'm gonna go for like a more browns though, just cause like I've got some fake moss. I'm also just sort of using my finger to wipe away anything out of the cracks. He's got a nice crack in his... Because some of these are like skull cracks, you know, like skulls have like lines in them, but things like this here feels like it was like a damage to the boy. I need to figure out a better way to do this, because you can't see much. Look at that guy. Oh, he's already looking so much better. I'm gonna have to go through the VOD and get like a screenshot of just him because I want a before and after. Then I didn't take one. Oh yeah, that's good. I think I'm gonna go through for like shading on him, like stuff like this. Like this stuff that's here. I think I'm gonna go with like a slightly browner gray and like a lighter. I also think I'm gonna paint this underneath bit dark. Let me turn him around so I can get this eyebrow crack. Let me see if I can get this a little more muddied. Yeah, my fingers are covered in paint. Oh, good, I knew this would happen. So I took my rings off ahead of time. This is like a technique, you know? Painting and then like wiping it off. Because he's gonna be on the wall, you know? So like this stuff. What? Way too high? Oh, that looks so cool. Just muddy these teeth up a bit. Let me... I don't need a whole sheet of paper towel. I just wanted a little bit. Nice. Rather than that. Oh yeah, that looks good. These teeth on this side are not... I keep realizing that I'm streaming and I should probably be talking, but these teeth on this side are like not as detailed as the other side. But I think I should probably do the horns next. You know what? Hold on. Let me mute the mic so I can adjust the camera, see if I can get like a higher angle. Hold on. this is better. You can see more. So now when I hold him, you can see him better. Oh, look at him. Ugh. So good. Put that in there. And then, do I want to do the horns now? I think so. I just have to figure out how to hold him better. Like similar sort of wash thing. You know what I mean? Paint it all dark. So that way you can take this and just go like. Because horns are usually dark around animal skulls anyway, you know what I mean? And that looks cooler. Like I'm saying these things, I'll say something like, it's a known tip, and I'm giving you a tip that I've done before. I've never done anything like this. The closest is when I painted my foam horns when I was a demon like 2 years ago. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm gonna add some. Don't be too much. We'll finish the horns and then we'll add some shading to the base of them. You know what I want? I want the Sam and Colby Hell Week videos to come out because I want some more spooky ghost stuff. I don't watch horror movies. I just like ghost things though. So I just want to watch some spooky ghost videos. You know? Looks so much cooler already. God, I'm so proud of myself. I hope Riley will be proud of me. You know what's fun? For my Halloween party I'm having with my friends in like 2 weeks. Oh shit, I have to do so much. Anyway. I made little gift bags for them because Riley encouraged me to, and also I am that mom friend. So I'm like, I should make gift bags for my friends that are all in their 20s for my Halloween party I'm having where we're gonna play board games. They need gift bags for this. So I made them gift bags and they're very cute and I'm very excited. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. I could leave them like, do the other horn and leave them like that already, but I kind of want to add more like highlights and stuff. And like, this painting is like not great on them. But I think I'm gonna take the dark and then make like a dark brown gray. There's been so much drama on the internet recently, and it's stressing me out. I never really I like some internet drama. I enjoy a good like, commentary YouTuber, you know? But I just don't want to be in the middle of it. I don't know, like, I mean, there was the stuff with, like, Ned from the Try Guys cheating on his wife, And it's like, hey my dude, that's like literally your brand, what the fuck? But that's the most I got into that. And then, but right now there's a whole bunch of stuff with like Dream, and like I don't even know, because every time I go on Twitter and see stuff about it, I just close Twitter, because it's so stressful, and like people jump to conclusions, but also like if he did it, that's gross, but also like I don't want to assume, because from what I've seen, the person that was accusing him has like ruined their argument. But then like some people are like, oh, but like you should respond to it better, and it's like you forget that he's a sheltered like early 20-something-year-old kid who just face revealed to the internet. Give him some slack, but also like stop putting him on a pedestal and like shutting things down immediately when you think something's wrong. But it's just, I'm torn, because like I understand where people are coming from, but I also understand that Dream has been so big that like he laughs off threats on his life, so like really you expect him to take some accusation seriously and react seriously. You need to rethink how much you know people. Like, let him stop trying to ruin him just because he's famous. I don't know, it stresses me out, so I just have been trying to avoid it until like I can come back in like a week or two and be like, okay, someone has given me all of the information laid out so I can make my own decision off of what is happening. Because right now there's not enough. I don't like digging for information, but there's not enough sources for me to get all of the information I need at the moment. Oh, look at how cool his horns are. Hold on. God, that's so cool. I've done so good already. Let me gas myself up real quick. That's so good. He looks so cool. Already better. Look at what you can do with some craft paint and a $5 skull from the dollar store. Okay, I am gonna make a little bit more of a brown one though. Is this brown? Yeah. Do I just want to use this brown? I should probably add a little bit of gray to it. I'll take some of this one. Mix this up. See how this looks. Yeah. We're gonna I kind of want to paint it all a lighter color and then go from there. I think I'm actually gonna do that. Just because like the painted shadows, I should have gotten one with less shadows on it. It's just all the painted shadows I don't like. You know what? Let's use a sand gray. I should shake this. I looked inside, it's real gross. Just cause like all of the shadows are like messing it up, so I can't like paint my own shadows nicely, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna this isn't quite like a bright highlight, but it's sand gray, so it should. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's like a, I don't want to say like ivory, but similar vibe. It's a warmer. And this way I can also have like a nice texture to work on. because I kind of don't want all of the shadows anyway. I'm gonna have to go into my cracks and the crevices. It's fine. I think I probably should have painted this all solid first. But that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go into all of the cracks. That's okay. Practice. Yeah, he's gonna look better like this. In case you were wondering, my cat is also still laying on my bed. She's fast asleep. It's very cute. It's a fun time. I'm kind of excited for my one class. I'm completely changing the topic from the silence it was before. I should paint higher up there. But I have my one class that I'm doing my lesson for. I've got 2 classes left of that because it was only a half-term thing, which is pretty exciting. Like, it's a nice class, but my other classes are like stressing me out, so I kind of need to not. One less class will be helpful. Sand gray is a nice bone color. In case any of you were wondering, I think that Americana, DecoArt Americana acrylic sand gray paint is a good bone color. I think it's just the appropriate amount of like a warm light gray. But yeah, no, lots of my classes are stressing me out right now. And like October's always kind of stressful because there's just so much going on and I got a new job, so like it's all just kind of been a lot. So having one class be over is actually going to be very nice. Oh, I forgot I had to post a cosplay photo. Let me finish. I'm just painting this top layer level of his head, and then I'm going to put my cosplay photos. Who is it? Carrie? I think I'm posting Carrie today. That's the one problem with streaming on Sundays, is Sundays is when I post our cosplay photos. So I have to edit them real quick too. I completely forgot. So I have an alarm for it. Okay. I'm gonna set him to dry for now, because this stuff's too wet to layer up more. I want it's because you can see. You can't really, but I can see these different textures here, and I kind of want to layer it up, but it's too wet still. And I don't want to go around the other edges because I don't have the space. You can watch him dry as I pull up cosplay photos to post. We love this, not Google Classroom. Google Drive. Posts. What day is it? This one is Carrie. Disney. Is there only 2 of Carrie? Oh. Huh. That's fine. I'm gonna go find my... I posted a different topic. I posted a reel on my personal account like yesterday because I do like outfit photos for October because of my spooky earrings. And so like I posted one, and one of the comments, because it's a reel, it got a lot more views than and like interaction than anything else I've ever done on my personal account. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I got this comment from this one dude that was just like, "Where'd your eyebrows go?" And I'm like, "That's none of your business, dog. What do you get going on to some random girl's account and asking where my eyebrows are? Clearly they're there. You're just upset because they're shorter than what you know. Like, calm down, my dude. No need to make a fuss about it. It's none of your business." I also had like 2 people that literally woke me up because they were spam liking my photos and stuff. And I personally hate people that spam like my stuff. Like, I don't get, it used to be a really popular thing being like, "Oh wow, thanks for liking all of my stuff." But now I'm just like, "Hey, you made my notifications buzz my phone to wake me up." Like, dog, no need. It's not like I'm getting money from this. Like, calm down. You liking a photo from 2013, it's kind of disturbing. That's 9 years ago now, dog. No need to like it. It's of my cat. Like, what's up? It was very odd, and I don't appreciate it. I'm just editing photos real quick while on stream. Goodness. 60. And then strength is 10. Look at this photo of my sister. Very good. There's original, edited. It doesn't want to focus. I'm a professional. Now to write the post and post it. Is no, not ragdoll. Pixie Bob. Pixie. Oh, I cannot spell. Don't mind me just making a post on my Instagram account, not talking on stream. I'm a professional. No, I'm not. I can't get paid for this. I'm trying to be a professional. Stressful is one word. Is it not? Yes, there's just too many letters. Also, the music today is Studio Ghibli piano covers because I felt like that was a good mood. I could try and find some DMCA free Halloween music. I might do that. Hold on. Things are. Let me finish making this post and then I'll see. Grab the pixie bob. Go onto the right Instagram account and make a post. Nope. Hold on. I know how to use Instagram, I swear. I've been using it for years. Perfect. Now I want to try and find you know what? There's this playlist on Spotify by Were Puppy called Halloween DMCA Free. I'm gonna trust them and play it. You know what? We'll take it. You can see me a little bit cool. Oh, it's like a little jazzy. This is fun. I like this. This isn't enjoyable. One more upbeat for my spooky skull painting. You know what I mean? I love Halloween time. It's my favorite. It's my favorite time. I'm going to turn off my notification, my sound on my phone so you don't get buzzes from cosplay likes. Go follow my cosplay. What is it? Yeah, it's Lynx Point Cosplay. Lynx, LYNX _ POINT _ cosplay on Instagram. It's me and my sisters. It's a very fun time. We've been cosplaying for, God, what, like 13 years now? Something like that? It's a fun time. I'm trying to cover like a decent amount of this bottom, just because I might paint this center stuff black and like fade it, or like dark and then fade it out, but like, oh, you use like not pointy here. Fun. Ah, speeding up jazz. I like me some good jazzy music. It started as a joke, and it's not a joke anymore. If someone asked me if I liked jazz, I would say, you know what, yeah. Yeah, I do like jazz. Megalovania. Good. Honestly, yeah, I'll leave it. This is like slightly spooky vibes for like Halloween music, like game Halloween music, you know what I mean? One of these ones on the list is a Luigi Mansion. It's all from an artist. Most of it's from an artist called Kumu? Q-U-M-U. I'm assuming that it's DMCA free. I'm hoping. Because it would be rude of them to label this as DMCA free Halloween music and then have it not be. I think that would be rude of them. I've painted over my teeth shading, that's fine. I need to redo lots of the shading. I'm gonna leave his horns for last to do. Mostly because that's the handles I have when I'm painting it. Get some more. You know what? Let's go in. I can't hold him. Okay. Let's go in with brown on some of these first and then black again. Just to see what the vibes do. That's my frog, mister. It woke up my cat. One thing about painting this all with acrylic first now is that I can't just wipe off the paint like I was before because the plastic. I think I'm gonna turn the music down. I feel like it's loud. There we go. The plastic lets you just like wipe off paint because it's plastic, but you know what? No, it's fine. I'm just gonna hand make it a little painty, but that's fine. I realized I just did the thing and then didn't say why I was undoing that thing. It didn't turn out good. And it started wiping off paint. Cause like I kind of want to do dry brush stuff, but like I don't think I know how. Get a piece of damp paper towel. What is this, Macbeth, you know? Yeah, that's actually the way to go. Damp paper towel. parents are home. For sure. Look at how cool he's looking. Very exciting. Definitely need to do something lighter when I'm gonna want to shade for practice. I think the dark brown in the nose was a good move. Nice crisp edge on this. Give me some good. This paintbrush is too long. I keep hitting it on things. I think the dark brown was the play. It looks more like natural. It going on a dark base probably helped because then it doesn't have to, you know, carry that all by itself. But what I'm doing is I'm painting in the crevice, and then anything out of it, I take a damp cloth and just wipe it off. I did have to repaint this strip here, so you can see it's still pretty shiny, but yeah. Get less of that. Very cool. He's turning out very good. So far this has been a very successful stream. I've made 1.5 cool things. Can't wait for his nose to dry so I can add shadow to that. Oh, I didn't paint in this eye yet. This is some fun music. I wouldn't say it's super Halloween, but it's pretty fun. is turning out very good. So my parents are home, so my cat left me, which is disappointing, but it means she can go outside, so I understand. Having fun painting this. This is a fun art project. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Painting a skull you got from the dollar store. It's a good time. I'll just paint over it after. Oh, that's... pretty good. Let's work on his teethies. That was not what I meant to do. Oh, it washed like off most of the bad. It washed off like most of the base coat. Where can I hold him? Just this horn. See if I can do this a little bit nicer now. Making up painting techniques as I go. Love it. I think that looks pretty good. Wipe. What I've learned, you gotta be very careful when you're wiping because it tends to want to peel up other things as well. And this one, David. It's just, no, never mind. It just wants to take off all of this. Now, gotta add to the shadows. figure out what to talk about more. I never know what to talk about. Let's use this one. You know what? Yeah. Stipple it with your fingers. You're a painter. I'm just sort of going in any cracks and like low points and adding some of this because it's, yeah, it gives some more depth to it. It doesn't have to be super pretty. I tell myself as I want to make it super pretty. It's just the instincts, you know? I'm gonna add like white highlights on some of these bits, but we'll see. Because I think he's turning along pretty good. Because I want like some streakiness, but also we're doing like an extreme contour, you know what I mean? But also, in the case of bones, the higher points would hit the light better or more, and they would bleach with the sun more than the other parts. So, and like the cracks and stuff would like gain like dirt and sort of decay a little bit. You know, bone things. You know, I've always wondered, what if humans had colorful bones? What would happen then? Like, how would that affect people? I mean, there's the whole humans have stripes that we just can't see thing. That's wild. But like, what about bones? You know? That'd be funky. I feel like it would be fun. I feel like it would be a fun time. Leveled into some paint. Okay, we're just gonna get a nice small detail brush to paint his gums. You know, as one does. I'm just sort of going with the flow. I've looked at enough bones. I'm like, I feel like I know what bones look like. I do have my reference picture up. I was gonna say I don't even have my reference picture up anymore. I just haven't looked at it. do I get these grimy enough? I want grimy tea. Give me grimy little munchers. Might cover that side with more moss, just because his grimy little munchers don't look as good. Oh, look at him. A funky fella. I stuck my hand right in the paint. It's fine. Oh, this is cute. This is a cute song. It's called Trick or Treat by Hyper Potions. That's cute. How's he looking? Pretty good. I think that actually needs light to it. I need another piece of paper towel. I feel like that's fun. We're gonna do some more of that. I'm having a good time. I'm not talking much because I don't know what to talk about, but I am having a good time. I was gonna start my Halloween costume this weekend, but then I got behind on other things. But I should be starting it tomorrow, if not today. Oh, this is from Luigi's Mansion. It's fun. I don't play many video games. I should. I've been thinking about playing The Sims on stream, but I don't know, like, what I'd do. Unless you just want to watch me make a sim for 2 hours and then say, okay, bye. Because I would. I like holding things. Brain likes it when I hold things. It's a good time. Me and Riley were kind of joking about doing a Halloween costume with like sexy Minecraft mobs next year. I feel like that'd be funny. I would be a warden because wardens are cool. Because she's an Enderman, of course, because she's like 6 feet. So of course she'd be an Enderman, but like, I was like, who would I be? And then I was like, I could do a sexy warden. That would be fun. Let me paint top of his head here for a hot minute. I've learned paint mixes best when it's wet. Basic tips. Work very fast so your wet paint can blend nice. But very gentle swappies, you know? Try and get this as spread out and nicely blended as possible. As I'm trying to make the base of these horns look nice, I'm probably going to cover it in moss anyway because you can see the seam so much. I think I'm gonna do the horns. My legs like have passed for a while now, and they hurt. Get some of that good paint in the crevices. You know what? We're just gonna paint it all like this dark brown, not this paintbrush. Like horns are always like a darker color, so I feel like if I go over top of it with light, it'll be nice. Well, you can't really see this too well. It's fine. I want to get him done on stream because I feel like I wouldn't continue working on him off stream, but I really want him done. So I'm almost done. Just gonna finish painting the horns and then add some highlights to everything. Maybe a bit of gloss. He's gotta dry first though, but again with the end. I don't know why paintbrushes are made to be this long. Like I don't understand it. Give me like pencil size. You know what I mean? Someone tell me what paintbrushes are. Oh goodness, it's all over my hand. Are made to be this long. Hands are absolutely covered in paint. We love painting days. I wish I painted more in my free time. I don't, because my free time is usually set aside for doing nothing. I got some of the white paint. He's looking so cool. The cracks are kind of like dramatic, but it's a Halloween decoration that's probably gonna hang on my wall all year round anyway, so he can look however he pleases. Cool, we're gonna set this down for a hot minute and wipe off any of the wet paint that's on my hands. I'm gonna let those dry. Are you having fun watching me? I gotta switch which ear my headphones are on. I'm having a fun time. I got multiple Snapchat notifications. Let me check these. Me and my friends want to do like the ghost photo shoot, but we're all so busy. I listened to Megalovania already. This one works. Faster, my dude. Hold on. I have a fan. Is this loud for you? It might be. I don't know. I'll put it back because I don't know how my microphone hears noise. You know what I mean? I'm gonna add some highlights while I wait. That was way more white than I needed. I feel bad because I'm kind of like wasting paint because I pour out way more than I actually need. But it's my money, so it's fine. This one. I'm just gonna gently go like along some of these bits with the cracks. See it too well. I'm just gently going along the cracks because I want like a little bit of highlight. Should I add gloss to like these high points as well? Or do I want him to be matte? I might actually want him to be matte. Gloss is fun, but in this scenario, I feel like he fits better if he's matte. Just a nice, I feel like because it's in Makers and Crafters, I can just not talk as much. You can just watch me craft. Trying not to get paint on my monitor. I'm just sort of going off of vibes of where I think the high and low points would be. Give him some highlight. If I ever do something I really don't like when it's dry, I can just cover it in moss. You can sort of see the highlights. I just want them to be like subtle. It's looking cool though. Very exciting. Crinkle, crinkle. Fake moss. Ready for when I'm done painting. I think he needs a little more. his horns to dry. Let me gently pick him up and turn him around. Yeah, you can't really see what I'm doing, but it's like, I think it's like dry brushing. See? Very like, oh, it's wet. Oh, that looks funky. I like that. Actually let that dry before I go and touch it with more things. They look pretty funky. Look at how funky. Wow. I think he's good. Okay. I think painting-wise he's good. He looks very fun. I'm going to, I don't want to go and wash these out because then my parents might. I'm going to. Oh, I'm still straightening. I'm gonna take, what is it, this one? Do a little bit of a scoop. Put as much paint back into the bottles as I can. That came from bottles, at least. I should not do this over my nicely painted dude. The dark brown's not super different. This is pretty close. Just trying to put them back in containers that are at least kind of close to what they were. Poured out way too much white. Let's try and get some of this back. Okay, hold on. I only have a tiny brush. I saw a cat coming in my door. Turns out there's no cat. I'm just crazy. I just got my mixed colors to put back. Let's put them in a bottle that was mixed paint. Does this one have room? No. These were all my gassed paints, so none of them are actually the color that's the bottle says they are. So that's why I'm just opening and testing. Don't know where that went. Just because I can get most of these paints back, it'll be slightly easier to wash out afterwards. You're not sure. I can't remember if this bottle of paint that says it's called zinc was originally this color or not, so it's fine. see how much my hands shake sometimes. Here we go. Paints have been put back in containers as we wait for this guy to dry. I'm just going to move him to a different tray. Okay. Slightly cleaning up. You're mostly dry. You can sit here and I don't. Now onto covering him with moss. I have my nice super old hot glue gun. This glue gun has been in my family for as long as I can remember. Actually, correction. I was gonna not put it on a tray, but then I realized I'm gonna be opening this bag of moss. It's very loud. I'm just gonna move it. Hold on. I want to do this. I'm just going to cover some of his teeth on this side. Just hot glue and squish. Just as like, he's cool like this, but I feel like covering him with some moss. I think I mostly want to put it around like the back edges. Cover up these edges and then go from there, you know? I'll wait for this hot glue to, because I feel like if I cover up like the edges sort of is like resting in moss, you know? Like it landed in the moss like this and it's slowly creeping up. I feel like that'll be cool. This fake moss has a strong smell. So cool on my wall. I'm so excited. It's the best feeling when you get excited about the things you've made. Because then you're like, I did a good job. Because I want them to have similar vibes too. Hold on. This guy's currently filled with my jewelry I need to put away, but like, you know, mossy. He's also very heavy. He's like a flower pot. I'm just looking up mossy animals go. Give me some reference. That guy's kind of cool. had no thought that went into that. I said, oh hey, the hot glue gun's hot. Moss. That's kind of cool. Do you want to like build it up this side a little bit? This thing's probably gonna shed moss for the rest of its days. That's fine. I think that looks pretty cool. Do I want to go like here a little bit? I think so. That's good, I like it in the eye. I like, more recently, I've learned to like doing art that's sort of just like freeform, you do whatever, and there's not a lot of thinking to it. Because I spent so long doing art where you have to like think, oh that's good. More like here, yeah. Lots of like the art I did when I was younger was lots more like technical, so I like the being able to do something not so technical. Moss makes everything look cooler. He's already so much cooler than he was. I should cover more things in moss. I'll have a fun time. That was a very good mossy piece. This would be fun drawing practice. Oh, he's already looking super cool. want any in the center? Do I want it more like here? I want like here. Yeah. I think I need more here on his teeth. Here, and then I'm sort of doing like as if it's like wrapping around almost, like it's here and here, and then it's gonna be like here, and then it's up. Yeah. This is looking very cool. Here, yeah. Do like a asymmetrical symmetry, you know what I mean? Like this goes up, so this goes down, but it's also gonna go up here. feel like it needs more in some of these first passes. I really like being able to see that. Just gonna that's a little bit better. I'm just trying to like balance it out. That's pretty good, I think. Sorry I haven't been talking much. I've just been doing art, you know? think he's done. I don't add too much. I'm maybe gonna add some on the backs here. Just because I have all this moss and I'm not going to do a whole lot with it, so I may as well cover the back in moss. He's done. I'm gonna post pictures of him on Instagram so you'll see, but I think that sorry, I unplugged. There we go. I think I'm gonna call that a stream. Don't do this at home. I am a trained professional. Don't touch your hot glue gun while it's still hot. I need to get a Ziploc bag for him. But let me just... moss on my floor from him. It's fine, I don't know where exactly I'm gonna hang him. I'll worry about all that later. The hot glue's still drying. Look at how cool he is. Very fun. I think that's it for the stream. I had a fun time. Made some cool things. Made a little leaf. And then made this guy. He's very cool. I'm very proud of him. You all should be too. But I think that's it for today. Next week I'll be making jewelry for myself, so you probably also, you might see my face then. Depends on the mood I'm in. But I think that's it. I don't remember how I ended these streams. Thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed your time here. I had fun. I made some cool things. I had a fun time. Hope you enjoyed. Follow me on all of my other social media at Saros_crafts everywhere else as well. This guy, I'll take some nice pictures and post him on Instagram probably later today. But, oh, I have a VOD channel now. Hold on. I made a VOD channel on YouTube. I don't remember what it's called. That's a good question. Hold on. Let me go to YouTube and see if I can find my VOD channel. It's Saros VODs. I thought that's what it was, but it's SAROS space VODS. There's no profile picture, but there's my VODs are there if you ever want to watch some VODs. Oh I posted my gas purse like week and a half ago. Yeah, like a week and a half, well, a weekish and a half ago. October 6th is when I posted it. Go check it out on my YouTube channel. I think he's a very cute gas purse, and I made a good video. I'm proud of it. But other than that, see you next week. Bye. Bye-bye.